Have it again. And hello, it's Fo, and welcome back to our City Skylines playthrough. First we're going to have a look at the content manager before we get into a new game. We don't need to have a look at the maps, we just have a look at the assets and the mods. So we've got unique buildings and parks, generally you can take them or leave them. A few essential things, we've got the easy garbage incinerator. It's like a simpler version of the normal garbage incinerator that's in the game, but it has no noise pollution or ground pollution. We've got the underwater cables here instead of using pylons. Got a little Domino's vehicle there for some fun. And again, unique buildings and parks, just for a bit of variation when you're building a big city. Extra large park's pretty good because it's got a large radius of effect. You can slap one of them in the middle of an area and it's got the area covered. These quad assets are really beautiful to look at. They're great when you pop them in a city. Got a cemetery there, might use that. KFC, I don't think we're going to need lawn tufts, so we'll get rid of that. Lighthouse, we can keep that I suppose. Marshmallow Man's amazing, essential in every city. McDonald's, KFC, that sort of thing. Normal things you'd like to expect to see in a city. We've got the no pollute outflow pipe here. There are eco versions in the game that have almost no pollution output, but this one is absolutely zero. So we can pop this in our river until we unlock the squares all the way down to our sea, and then we can have proper sewage outlets where the sea is. Until we get that sorted, we can use the no pollute pipe. Pedestrian bicycle path combined. It's very useful so we can get people on bikes and walking in between different parts of the city without having to get in their cars and drive. Real money generator, that's a park that costs negative money and give you a boost of minus 50,000 is its cost. So you can get 50 grand immediately if you pop it down. And even if you don't need that much, you can delete it straight away and get a rebate. And the difference is 15 grand you're left with. If you leave it on, it can generate money for you. It's better than using the unlimited money. Next we've got little things, boulders, car parks. Soundproof metro is kind of important. You can have it right in the middle of the residential areas without it causing any noise pollution problems. The Donut Mall is beautiful. Got a couple of other things here. Then we've got our turbine exchange. We're not going to need that. We shouldn't need it now that we've got our map absolutely set up. Next look at the mods. We've got 25 spaces so we can play with the whole map. Automatic bulldoze, automatic emptying, saves us having to click things loads of times. Extra landscaping, just so we can use some of the map editing features in the game. Then we've got the move it for tidying things up. Random tree rotation, tree brush, just for painting big areas of trees, just like we did in the map. We've got traffic manager here. I don't think we should need that at this stage. When the city gets super big, we might want to get a version of Traffic Manager that's updated and working. Here we've just got unlimited soil, unlimited oil, unlimited trees. Stops us running out of things for our industrial areas, the resources that we put down. And unlock all, I normally have this on so we can put in a large roundabout immediately off the highway. But we'll take this off just for the sake of the playthrough, make it more rewarding when we hit those milestones. So we've got the new game panel here. We're going to find our Turbine City that we've made. Make sure it's left-hand traffic. Call it Turbine City. And away we go. So we're in our new city. The first tip says that we want to build a road. So we've got access to the other roads. You can see they're all ghosted out. We don't have access to them until we build our first road here. We want to pop down a little roundabout because we can't get a big one. So pop down just a very small section of road, the smallest section we can pop down for 40 here. And then if we delete it, we can get back a refund of 30. While we've got the timer paused, refunds are available for a short time after you build things. So we can pop down our small roundabout here, just right in the middle in between the two lanes of the highway. And then we can delete that first section and then upgrade the roundabout itself with our one-way large roads. That'll sort of make it a large roundabout instead of a smaller one. We'll upgrade the roads at the sides coming off it. Back to the one way we can make our connections to and from the highway, and we can upgrade these later on when we get access to the proper highway roads. It's a little messy, we can use move it to tidy it up a little bit. Just bring this in, make it nice and neat. There we go. Now we can extend our roads that we've got going on. Once we turn off the traffic lights on the roundabout, that's the last thing we need. So traffic routes, now we can go into the traffic lights. Once we've come out of our roads tool, turn off the roads tool first, then traffic routes, junctions, turn off all traffic lights. You never want traffic lights in the middle of a roundabout, that's no use. So we're going to extend our roads out here, we're going to come out by 4 units. Then we're going to go up by 4 units. Then in the centre, it's not going to line up, but we're going to go up by 4 units. Now we're going to switch to our medium roads to connect the two. So bring the medium road right across and connect it up. Now we can switch down to our small roads. I'm going to take small roads off medium roads off the big roads. If we line it up just perfect, and get our small road coming along here lined up perfectly so we're not losing out on any squares. If we bring it one back from the marker here, that's perfectly aligned so we can maximize the space. Then along to the marker on the medium road that we've made. It's perfect up the other side. And then in the space we can maybe fill it in like this. Ideally we'd be able to bring another one across, but don't have enough space for that, so we can bring up 2 back up to the medium road. So you can have more connections coming off a medium road with an awful large one. If we go into our traffic lights here, turn off all the lights. We never want any traffic lights in the city ideally. And if we always follow a rule that if you're leaving off a medium road onto a large road, you have to stop first so you don't interrupt the flow of traffic. And if you're coming off a small road onto a medium road, the same again. So we put stop signs here, it keeps the priority traffic moving on the larger roads. Then if you want to join that traffic, you're going to have to ease in when it's your turn. Now that we've got the traffic lights set up, maybe time to have a look at the water and power situation. Perhaps off in the far corner, where the land's raised, we're going to have access to wind power. So if we work around this area, we can maybe get a wind turbine in. Generally want to go green with our city, if we possibly can. There's usually enough green power options that we can do it. At this stage it's just wind turbines, but we've got our actually underwater cables. We can use them to connect up our power from here down to our city where we've made our roads. We've got eco water outlets, but like I said before, it's not perfect, so we're going to use our workshop item, our no pollute. So we're going to pop that down next to our water intake. Pop down our water intake first. We could put 2, but it's going to eat up a lot of our budget. We don't want to overspend at this stage before we've even got the simulation running. So we'll pop in our sewage right next to our intake. Normally that's a terrible idea, but obviously with the no pollute we can get away with that. Like I say, when we unlock all the way down to the sea, then we can change that for a proper sewage outlet. But in the meantime, while we're just working with one water source and just working with the river, I think it's justified we can do that. I like being super efficient when painting in water pipes, so you don't waste too much space. If you want to go up further than you need to, so then you can come across and try and get it as nice and neat as possible, maximum efficiency. And if you want to, you can always connect the two. But yeah, you start the game making everything nice and neat, and it slowly devolves into disaster. If something's not quite going to meet You're better off extending one side of it so you've got plenty of room to run right into it at a right angle, because it'll try and connect up awkwardly, not at a right angle. We're better doing it like this. We're going to need to extend them further anyway at some point, so we're going to make a mirror image across here. Don't want to blow the entire budget filling in the smaller roads. I don't think we quite need them at this stage. We can just work on our first square, but see if we can pop in some underwater and underground, as it were, cables. Don't want to be too close to the roads and where we're going to build the road symmetrically opposite, so try and bring them back from here. Don't think we need to be quite this close, but we need to be quite close for the range of these. Get them connected up. Delete a few in between because I'm pretty sure they are too densely packed. We don't need them that close together. And get a little bit of refund on that. So we've still got a little bit of money. Before we start filling this in, I'd love to extend this road. If we extend it by 2, because our underwater and underground power lines are in the way. Bring it out by 2 to start off with. Get things in. When everything's set up, we can delete a few more and build it back. So we're going to use the marquee selection tool, so we're not highlighting the entire chunk. This way we can put in exactly how much we want. If we bring things back from the larger road, so that the squares on the larger road have the priority. Now we're going to pop down a save before we start the simulation. I'm going to save quite regularly if you can. Going to change our chirper look since we're going to have this thing popping up all the time. May as well have it look good. I'm going to start the simulation. Get our very first residents moving in. Looking good so far. Alright, so that's our first street fully moved in. We now have demand for a little bit of residential, a little bit of commercial, and a little bit of industry, so we're going to fill in this area. And then for the industries, I think we want to get our road started off built in here. Get our mirror image. Looks fine. Now where we want to pop in the industry, we want to kind of keep it away from the residential areas so they don't get affected by the pollution. We kind of want to keep it on the main road as well because it's a lot of heavy duty trucks. Again, we're not going to bring it all the way to the end on the bottom because we anticipate we're going to continue that large road down the way and we'll end up cutting off those last 2 squares anyway. So we'll see how that goes. Once people start moving in, we'll need to get the electricity connected so we can connect up the residential area down to this industrial area. So we pop a second one in here. One for the industry on this side. And perhaps another one. We can pop one in here, then we can let the simulation run, and as soon as the houses build in around it, we can delete it. Just let a few buildings build in till they've got a connection around this. We don't need it anymore, and then we can get it out of their way. Should be ready now. Let's see. Yep. So the connection's fine. We haven't given these guys some water, so we'll fill in some water on this side. Run out of cash. I don't think they need the full power and water supply. Let's see if we stop this and we bring this down, bring both all the way down. Or maybe between 50 and 60%. And we'll see how they react if they've got enough power and water. And we can adjust it accordingly from there. Power, well, our 50% is probably not going to be enough. Water, our 60% is probably going to be more than enough. We'll let it run again, then we can adjust the amounts. So we're going to build our power back up to 90%, that should be enough to cover it. And we're going to get our water down to 50%, so that's going to be more than enough for quite some time, I think. So, people are moving in, businesses are moving in, we've got industry going. We seem to have a sewage issue. Let's pause it for a second. Let's have a look at the water. Water seems to be fine. I'm not quite sure what the issue is. If you do have an icon coming up above a building, we can click on it and it'll tell you exactly what the problems are. It says here we've got sewage, so it is the right icon, that I think it is. Very strange. Could be because there wasn't enough power to power the sewage outlet. So we're just going to let it fly here. Yeah, the problem seems to have disappeared. There must not have been enough power going to the sewage or no pollute outflow pipe. Let's go in and turn off our traffic lights on the other side. Again, stop signs going from the small into the medium, then the medium into the large, and everything else is still fine. Maintaining that system throughout the city should keep the average traffic flow around about 70%, and that's good enough. Popped in some stop signs coming on the roundabout, but the traffic's not busy enough to need them yet. We'll maybe come back and put these in later on. Looks nice by night. Yep, I think we just need to wait for the demand to grow. You can see that our industry needs more workers, so we just need to wait for more houses to come in. So yeah, we're gonna let it fly, let our money build up, let the demand for the different types of areas build up. See, we've got more demand for industry and more demand for housing coming in. I like to build roads in the daytime, so we'll speed up the simulation, try and get through the night. See if we can get through the night before our need for housing hits the top. Looks like power is an issue again. I think if we up the power, go up to 100%. Perhaps the second wind turbine is going to be on the menu at some point soon. Certainly need to save up for that. Power issue seems to be sorted. Daylight's coming in. No, it was sorted. We need to up the budget on the power again. Yeah, one wind turbine costs 6 grand, so we're going to need to save up for that. It's definitely on our to-do list, is to get another wind turbine. We can up the budget to 120%, that'll do for the meantime. Now the daylight's coming in, we'll be able to see what we're doing with the roads. We can go in and move a couple of those underground power cables. Get it out of the way of that road, and we can build up our road in a sort of symmetrical fashion, get another area opposite our medium roads. So I'm going to pause it, get rid of this one, it's in the way. We can find it. And we can pop in another one to keep the flow connected. Just out of the way. There we go, put it this side of the road. That's the power reconnected, so no one loses power. But now we can fill in the other half of this section. One back from this marker, gets us the perfect distance. And then here where our marker is for the other road. Of course, we've run out of money again. We can still fill in some of this area. Biggest need is obviously still for residential. If we leave a square rather than filling in the entire area, we'll go 4 back, so we've still got the space for the area on the large road. But if we leave 1 square at the end, that can be room for our pedestrian and bicycle paths. They can go from this sort of housing area out to the main roads from either side of it. Give more people options, save them needing to use the road system. If they can get on their bike and get to the other side of town, then they will. Just gonna fill up some of this area. Again, we need to leave a square here for the path. Water could be an issue. See if we've got enough to sort of bring a pipe out here just to cover that small bit that we've zoned. Doesn't look like it. Well, we don't have the cash to cover that bit, so we can de-zone it for now and then bring it back in. Again, if you right click, you can de-zone back to 0 again. For this side, we'll add some more industry. But again, we've got the same problem, so I have to de-zone the last little few squares of that. There we go. Start the simulation again and see if that's enough to satisfy our needs. So we need to build up some cash to finish off the roads there. We've got more room for zoning. And we are going to need to deal with the power at some point soon as well. Need to get that extra wind turbine. We'll see how it fills in. Certainly seems to be enough industry that we've put in. Now we've got power issues again. The new buildings coming in the industry area. We've made it to Little Hamlet. Okay, what we're going to do, we'll leave it here for this one, since we've reached our milestone. We've unlocked taxes and loans. We can use the loans and adjust the taxes to get a little bit more money. Hitting a milestone gives us a little bit of money as well. So hopefully we can go in, get that wind turbine. We can set up one of our easy garbage incinerators now that we've unlocked garbage. And we can get a medical clinic in now we've got healthcare. We can get a elementary school at some point. We can pop that in over next to the residential. The recycling centre we can pop in next to the industry since it's fairly dirty. For the landfill site, I don't think we're going to need it. So, we'll come back in the next one and take it a little bit further, see if we can get to the next milestone. See you then.